I have an apology from Councillor Torinis and Councillor Reid may be a late attendee due to another commitment.
Okay, confirmation of the meetings of the 11th of June 2024. The recommendation of the minutes, meeting of the 11th of June be confirmed. Can I have a mover for that, please? Beth. We're all in accord with that. Move the vote. We vote yes. Okay. Any declarations of pecuniary interest?
Yes. Or trying to find the number of it. Childhood. Sorry, Robert. I sent an email.
Thank you, Chair. It's item 5.3.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's the last one. Good job.
This is a correction.
Last, the councillor's interest. Just very interested in that one. So when we get to that item,
All right, okay.
I won't participate.
Well, we don't need to elaborate on that now.
No.
In considering the following land use planning matters, the Sorell Planning Authority intends to act as a planning authority under the Land Use Planning Improvements Act of 1993. The first 5.1, the first application is a subdivision application at 491 Arthur, at 491 Arthur Highway, which I don't know if there are any complications in this. I think so. The recommendation is that we approve it. And can I have a mover and a second for the recommendation? Councillor Gatehouse. Have points of discussion on this?
Thank you. Shane, just to clarify, this is partially on an estate matter, is it? The owner of part of it is it still an estate?
Through the chair, I would say when I'm not fully across the ins and outs of the estate matter, but the representation indicate there is, and there's some other matters to that. Because what's important for this application is what the Land Use Planning Improvements Act sets out, which is that the written consent of all owners is not a requirement to make an application, and it's not a requirement to approve an application. The LUPA requires that the applicant, in this case Mr. Morley, the surveyor, simply notifies the owners that this application will be made, and so we're quite comfortable with those provisions being met.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So any complications on that?
Through the chair, just one concern is the road access off the highway. It says there'll be a sealed and taper. Is that from the Hobart end? And if that's what's happening from the Hobart end, what about the peninsula end? Will there be something similar to access the area, bearing in mind its proximity to the Iron Creek Bay concern?
Through the chair, so the Department of State Growth were referred to the application, and I believe they had some direct contact from some of the representatives, or at least one of the representatives, So the state growth requirement is, yeah, taper from Hobart bound traffic. There's no requirement for anything from the Peninsula bound traffic.
Right. Is that creating a potential hazard though?
I would say no. State growth have done the assessment, and before the works subdivision can be completed, the proponent needs to be able to get a separate permit from state growth to actually construct it.
Yeah.
So between now and then, if there were any changes in the state growth's opinion, that would be how that would be delivered. But based on the traffic volumes and the assessment, provided this condition, this adopted as part of the permit, that okay.
So how long will the slip lane be? Is that because it's coming off the straight and it seems to be like it's a short thing. It's going to create traffic problems for traffic following through.
So state growth hasn't specified the taper length at this point.
Okay.
Ordinarily, the proponent would do a drawing of what they have in mind, that state growth was then approved.
Right.
So I'd imagine there'd be some more discussion between the proponent and state growth as to exactly what, but it's a taper, so that can be quite short, or maybe like 2 vehicle lengths or something like that, just to give a little bit of assistance for a left turning vehicle to get out of the traffic.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Shane.
Any further matters on this?
Thank you. Yes, on page, for Shane, Mr. Wells, please, in page 15, it says here public open space policy. And would you be so kind to clarify how come as a rural property, public open space land is not taken or the equivalent in a percentage?
Through the chair. So in a rural setting, we don't typically have, councils don't typically have public open space land. What we would have is got example of some recreation facilities such as Kelby. So generally speaking, a rural land is quite large. They can accommodate their own recreational needs. We can, and from time to time, do consider with a rural subdivision whether there is an opportunity to provide some walkway connectivity. In this case, there's nothing in that area to connect to, so we're not recommending any land in this case. And because the blocks are so large and they can accommodate their own needs, there's no cash in the contribution either.
And yes, that was my follow-up question, that cash and due contributions, even if it looks like right now there's potentially no need, in general, there's a need in the area. So is it something that is going to be looked into? Just, it's been typically, like what you said, not being asked for. Is it something that to future-proof the area would start being required?
Through the chair, the policy was reviewed 12 months ago, 18 months ago in that order, and it didn't, no significant changes were made to that. And I'd suggest that our council's policy is consistent with other local government policies in that the focus of public open space is in your general residential, rural living, low density residential areas where there's a density, which goes both to the need for the open space lot and the sort of the affordability of maintaining open space.
Thank you.
Further matters?
Just through the chair, thank you. Shane, look, I've got once again issues with the driveway situation. I've read what State Growth have got there, and not having any concern for traffic turning to the right where it's 100 kilometre zone. So you're going from a car from stationary to buses and heavy vehicles that are travelling along that highway as well. Is there any means we can put conditions in there to be able to turn right towards Hobart, or can we wait even to see what state growth recommend with this slowing merging into the driveway?
Through the chair, my advice would be state growth are the road authority in this instance. So we really need to be guided by what they deem to be an appropriate and necessary standard of access. So I'd be uncomfortable imposing a higher standard than what the road authority thinks.
Would a higher standard actually stand up if it hasn't came from state growth though? So if we was to impose a higher standard, would that actually stand up, or would it be knocked back?
Yeah, I couldn't really answer that, but generally speaking, the relevant authority is the one that specifies the condition. So that's what a specified condition, that's what a specified condition. Heritage has, state growth, we can just start by that process.
Further comments? Well, in that case, the recommendation is for this one-lot subdivision boundary adjustment of 491 Arthur Highway force to be approved subject to the conditions we've talked about. Those in favour? This is unanimous. And so we move on to item 2, which is a proposal for a change of use, building or dwelling and a new outbuilding at 5 Ollie Drive, Sorell, recommended for approval. Now, Shane, can you just take us through as quickly, because I'm scared to say it, but it looks uncomplicated. I need to open my second. I'm so keen to read this one. Linda, Shannon, again, seems relatively uncomplicated.
Yeah, thank you to the chair. So yeah, the matter is before the planning authority because the landowner is a staff member in our building department. So it was advertised for a discretion on side boundary setback. No representations received. The recommendation is to approve simply with a landscaping requirement, just to try and soften the underfloor area, which is about 2.5 metres high in itself, just because of the slope of the top of land.
Any questions? No, sir.
Just one question, please. Would you just point out the discretion on the boundary setback, please? Mr. Wells, this one.
So it's a rural living zone property. So on the site plan, on that page, it's the shaded structure with 1 metre side boundary setback.
Oh, is that the proposed?
Yeah,
Is that correct?
yeah. The shaded areas on that site plan depict the new work.
And that meter is less than,
10 metres is the standard, and one metre is proposed.
and so is the reason the geography or what?
The southern side of Ollie Drive is rather steep. As you can see from the contour intervals. And as a result, this type of layout is sort of common in the area in that, it's quite an area of quite the access and generally the dwellings are off to the side. It is a lesser setback than what is in the area. There is a dwelling on the eastern side of the structure, but it has no sort of windows that face the outbuilding, so it's just blank walls, so there's no overshadowing, impact, and there's no privacy or
Privacy,
overlooking
yeah.
impacts from the outbuilding. And so the recommendation is just to condition on the bottom side, the southern side, that's the largest, highest wall, what's proposed, so just the landscaping, just to soften the appearance.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Any further matters? So the recommendation is for the change of use of the building at 5 Ollie Drive, Sorell, be approved. Those in favour? It's been unanimous. And then we'll move to the childcare centre. 18 Arthur Street, Sorell. So the recommendation is that this is approved. Can I have
Yeah, I may just jump
you
in
to go first?
and just clarify, so there's two typos in the recommendation. One is as a condition 5B, where it says 2.6 metres wide, that should be read 2.4 metres wide. And at condition 11, the word subdivision should be replaced by the word development.
Okay, then concerning the recommendation, can I have a mover, please? Councillor Gatehouse, Councillor Nichols. Well, to throw this open to the meeting, firstly, Shane, that this is a rather more complicated one, isn't it?
Yes.
I don't want you to commit yourself.
No, it is a significant childcare centre. There's up to 60 child capacity.
Is that in terms of our local government area, is that a significant size? Is that bigger than most?
To check. No, it's not the biggest one in the town of Sorell. Discovery Centre is larger, might be 200 child capacity, but it's still a significant scale. And the evidence, I guess, that's anecdotal evidence that we often hear is that there is a significant shortage of childcare places in Sorell, and Mid Point, in the broader Sorell LGA. So there is an important need for additional childcare places.
What do the councillors think of the questions for that? Shane?
Through the chair, Shane, just in relation to 15E, our recommendation that the staff are to move crying children inside as soon as possible, is that something that's in the planning scheme, or is that just a?
Yeah, through the chair, I guess this condition number 15, I guess its origins lay partly in the Kinley Street childcare facility, where there were a number of amenity-related issues raised. These type of clauses are derived from some guidance material that's been out there by various bodies around how childcare centres can minimise their potential impact on amenity. I guess the important thing with the condition in terms of how it operates, so the condition is asking for the proponent to submit a noise management plan before they commence operation that details A to G. In terms of that's the sort of thing that should be in the scope of the document. That's not necessarily saying A to G is literally to be interpreted and read into the document. But these are musts. These are sort of just setting the parameters for what we want to see in the management plan. So I understand that there are some concerns around the practicalities of that with staffing ratios and the like. The intent of the condition is to have some means to try and manage the potential impact of the childcare centre on the neighbours, but not in any way to control or limit the actual operation of the childcare centre itself and how they manage their staff commitments and other requirements.
Thank you. I was just in relation to Eve in particular, I guess it's probably hard to manage moving a crying child inside quickly and who's going to monitor that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Monitoring of it is sort of an enforcement measure is quite difficult.
Yeah.
But that was one of from the Skyline document. It was one of those things that if the centres can make it at least some sort of effort around that space, then that noise is going to be lessened. So conceptually, it's important. Yeah, the details need to be determined and can be determined as part of the noise management.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Anyone else?
Through the chair, Shane, also in terms of noise management, there's a 2 metre vegetation buffer. Noting the limited size of the plot, being a residential plot, the type and height of vegetation included in that 2 metre buffer zone, is that part of the landscaping vegetation layout? So it's sort of an agreement and assessment by the environmental health inspector when the final landscape plan comes in, so that can be taken into consideration. So we're not talking about a 2 metre wide laurel or privet or some sort of hedge. You know, it can be.
Yeah, through the chair. Yeah, absolutely. That condition again, it has an origin story in the sense it's been applied with other childcare centres in the town. But yeah, there's certainly there's all the flexibility in the world in terms of whether that's trees or shrubs. The landscaping plan that has been provided, it's on 62, includes landscaping already in that location. So I don't think we're necessarily asking for more, just that's landscaping on the boundaries an important part of putting them on residential use in a residential area.
Thank you.
Councillor Nichols, you have a question.
Through the chair, is there any restriction on impervious surfaces or the amount of impervious surface? Difficult to say. In a site like this?
Yeah, through the chair, the planning scheme does have a standard for impervious surfaces. The idea is that there is a pervious surface retained so that it assists storm water and we don't just get concrete from boundary to boundary.
And that covers the car park as well as the playground area?
Yeah, the impervious surface applies to car park, building and any other sort of footpaths and the like. So there is a standard. 25% is free from impervious surfaces. The minimum in the scheme is 35%. So there is more part stand than what the acceptable solution dictates. However, I guess in this case we deem that to be acceptable. One, because there's quite a bit of landscaping proposed. The stormwater can be managed. The stormwater report sets out how that can happen, or they can make a contribution under our policy. Either way is equivalent. And I think the design and the layout achieves the right sort of balance in my mind between all the various demands that they have as a childcare centre and what the planning scheme is trying to maintain.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Once again, I have the same issues around recommendation 15, and when they provide a noise management plan, can that contradict or eliminate some of these other guidelines we've got under that condition. Because, for example, the commitment that staff will move crying children inside the company, that's almost micromanaging what the operations are, and I don't fully agree with that as being the best option of comforting a child in every circumstance. So there's no time limit there, we don't say within 5 minutes, within 2 minutes. I just think it's an inappropriate sort of condition to have in there.
Well, I think I've already commented on that. I think it's workable, but yeah, if it's not to be included, then that would just be a motion from the council.
I'd like to make a motion for a minor amendment to take condition 15, item E, out of the conditions, recommendations, sorry.
To move to,
Yeah, second that.
I need a second bit of this amendment was drafted. Shane. Okay, so now I'm going to working of the words.
Or through chair, simply basically deleting that part of the
Really, was that all?
condition.
Just removing letter E of recommendation 15.
Not about that very rare human attribute, reasonability.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but,
And then if we put that to the vote.
all right.
It's just need to be that amendment to the vote now.
Yes, I need to put the amendment to the vote now. Those in favour? Unanimous?
So now, when we get to the recommendation, we have to vote to be minus part E,
Minus part E.
condition 15.
Okay, so to the recommendation that the council approves the planning application for a childcare centre at 18 Arthur Street, minus, can we manage it? Minus
Condition 15E.
Condition 15E. And those contingencies, those in favour? Is the unanimous.
That's it.
Well, we've no further matters of importance for the Sorell Planning Authority, so thank you for your attention to these matters.